taking away other people's homes, I don't think is a personal burden.
Said you're going to be here for like an extended period of time. You might move here?
Yeah, definitely the political landscape in the United States is like not for me right now. I am on paper a quintessential gentrifier, and
At least you're honest about it.
I mean, changing neighborhoods and taking away other people's homes, I don't think is a personal burden. I think that that's a systemic issue. You know, there's like the classic trickle down of certain types of people finding a place and then sort of taking it over from people who've been living there for a long time, and that's very real. And I recognize my role in that.
Something I want to say about whiteness before this app goes kaput, specific to white people in America, which is kind of me. There are these conversations we have about imposter syndrome, you know, like, I have imposter syndrome, I have imposter syndrome. And for a white person, the reason that you and I have imposter syndrome is because we are imposters. To be born white in America is to be born a settler. Even if we don't own land, the cultural implications of colonization and the power structure means that we have a settler psyche. That's how our brain works. That's how we think. That's how we go. In the entirety of the sense of self, in whiteness, for white people, is a fabrication. It is a lie. It is pretenders. We are imposters. That's why we have imposter syndrome, because we are imposters. Why do you think white people, especially white men, me, why do you think we're so fragile? Why do you think we can't handle conflict? Why do you think we run away all the time? Why do you think It's because we have a fragile sense of self, a fragile ego, and we're fragile because we are trying to keep up this charade of being superior, which is a fucking lie. The irony of a superiority complex is a deep sense of misery and fragility that makes life not enjoyable because we are actually living counter to what is true to humanity, which is that we are all the same fucking species, meaning we are all equal, we are all worthy and valuable to the same fucking degree. But because we have so distorted that, because of our ancestors have so distorted that, or maybe I should point down, they're certainly not going there. Because of that distortion, we are born in this psychological framework where we have this really fragile sense of self and we're just trying to keep up with the Jones, keep up the fucking charade, and we don't do the fucking work internally to actually figure out how to root and ground ourselves in some sort of values, to respect the humanity of others, to respect the humanity of ourselves. And so we just pretend, and then we feel terrible. I'm an imposter, they're gonna find out, and then I'm a fraud. Well, you're a fucking fraud, and so am I, because we're fucking white Americans. Now, this is a little bit different for men and women. There is an imposter syndrome that exists under patriarchy for women that I'll never understand. And so I'm just speaking to the white portion of this. But if you are white, even if you're a woman, it's a little bit different, obviously. But like white people in general, we are fucking imposters, man. And we gotta confront that and look at it dead in the mirror. Because do we want to be fragile forever? Do we just want to like not be able to deal and handle conflict forever? Do we want to do this bullshit right to comfort forever? And I'm looking myself in the mirror right now. This is what I realized this whole last year. I am a fraud. I am a fake. I am a pretender. That's who I have been. That's not who I need to continue to be. There's a better world. There's a better life. There's better relationships. But the longer we run away from this shit, the longer we fucking hide, where are we gonna get? We're never gonna be good community members. We're never gonna be able to practice actual revolutionary values. We're just gonna keep in the same fucking bullshit, distant, non-intimate, fake, imposter shit. We have imposter syndrome because we are imposters. And like
the fact that so many feathers get ruffled because I said you should not disrespect nor abuse the parent who stayed is wild to me. The fact some of you blamed moms for their children disrespecting or abusing them. You tried to shame them in the comments. You threw around abuse several times, like parents are always abusing you. You judged moms, but didn't mention a father one single time abandoning their child. That was diabolical. And it was also very telling where we are as a society. And it lets me know some of this therapy that you all love to talk about, it ain't working. Argue with your mama.
Everybody be saying that we should have more black professionals and we should have more like black therapists, and everybody wants a black therapist until that therapist acts black. Then that therapist is a bad therapist because they're talking like a black person, acting like a black person, behaving like a black person. Everybody wants a good therapist, but that therapist can't be human. That therapist is no longer good if they're on social media like literally everybody else. Literally everybody else. That therapist is too human now. That because of that therapist is a bad therapist. Do you know how ridiculous y'all sound when y'all say this? And I was tagged in a post like, oh, thank God my therapist is 60 because, like, who wants to get therapy from a 30-year-old with a TikTok? Let me be very clear. Those 60-year-old therapists, you clearly are not a helping professional because you don't know the type of things that are said about and there's no shade to my older, more established therapists, but I promise you, a lot of them be living lives that you don't know nothing about. I really need y'all to be so for real. The pressure that y'all put on helping professionals is just absolutely ridiculous. And frankly, y'all are going to be shocked when one day you wake up and nobody wants to do these jobs anymore because of the way that y'all put so much pressure on us already when we're already overworked, stretched to the limit, and very much so underpaid. Enough.
Nicole-y. It's okay, I called you that. My heart is just so heavy right now with these fires. I just wanted to give you a call though, because I see you're working from home. And that's fine, right? I think I'm just wondering, kind of just to take a temperature check. That's not too insensitive. Are you planning on coming in later? Will you be in the office tomorrow? And either way, zero pressure from me, right? Do what is safest for you. I do want to let you know though that the office is super cozy right now. There is no electricity, but I've put up some candles. We have an air purifier. The air is feeling really safe. I think what I'll just offer you at this really challenging time is this idea about fires. They burn bright and they burn strong. And that should be how you feel about the mission. And so the choice to come into work on a trying and challenging day like today is a way to say the mission matters more than me. And that's what we want to be able to say. So I'm gonna let you go. What's that, Todd? I'm coming. My husband's just setting up a little tea station for me. I'm coming. I'm finishing up with Nicole. And I hope to see you in spirit in the office tomorrow. I won't be there.
Said no, we're staying open. Sorry, you can just serve everything like well done.
Hello, just a bit of an update. Yesterday, everyone at my store received a call from management notifying us that from the 8th to the 12th, we would be able to receive catastrophe pay for any shifts we missed as a result of being evacuated or feeling unsafe with the working conditions. It's exactly what we wanted. However, they made a point to end out these calls by saying that this was only possible because of the direct relationship between Starbucks and their partners. We know that that's not true because they expected us to come in and open the store on the 10th. This is truly only possible because of the collective action we took by withholding our labor and filing OSHA complaints. This is what can get done by organizing. This is why we're organizing, and it's why you should support us in our fight for a union contract.
So now that the kids are a little bit older, I thought maybe I'd start taking care of myself again.
Okay. You really think you're gonna have time for yourself?
Yeah, I thought maybe I could pick up a hobby or start feeling more like me again.
Okay, I just need to remind you that you're a mom. All right? There isn't time to feel good. Okay, after I had kids, I didn't feel good for about 18 years. That's what motherhood is all about.
Well, I thought maybe if I felt more like myself, I'd be a better mom.
No, you just gotta power through. Nobody has time for hobbies. What are you even talking about?
I don't even know. I just wanted to feel good again, I guess.
Okay, well, I think you just need to get over yourself, okay? Plus, why feel good when you can just complain about not feeling good? It's much more productive.
I thought maybe I could start reading or just do something by myself for once.
With young kids? Okay, good luck, honey. You're gonna need it.
Well, maybe I could pick up an exercise class like once a week.
My exercise was carrying all of my screaming children in and out of stores when they would be having tantrums. Keep your ambitions small, sweetheart.
If you are debating having children, please stop and listen. My dream since I was a little girl was to have a baby. I wanted to be a mom. All I ever wanted was one little girl, and I was going to name her Harley, and my dream was going to be, that was it. That was the dream. I actually was given my dream. I married everything I ever put on paper for a guy that I would want. He's that and more. And then I get pregnant, and I have a daughter. I have a girl. Oh my God. Dream come true. I was like, this is great. Because I've only really ever wanted one child, and I wanted just one girl. And I was like, oh, thank you, God. I regret making being a mom my dream. And I wish that I did not have that as a dream. I have been severely disappointed with the dream. And my daughter is the cutest, most beautiful, fun, smart little girl, and I love her more than anything on this planet. I would give my life for her in 2 seconds. I would do it all over again for her 1,000,000 times over. All of that is facts. But what also is a fact at the same time is I was dreaming of a life that I had no idea what it was about. It's not just a few moments of like, no, don't do that. A few smelly diapers, and you're just gonna have this happy-go-lucky fucking family. No, that's not reality. That's not real life. You know what is real life? Me being at home, thinking that being a stay-at-home mom was a dream, and I actually was given the opportunity. And now we're in a position where I don't really have a choice but to stay home with her right now. It's temporary, thank God. But being a mother is the most draining experience of your life. It changes every single person around you. Every single person around you. Every single friend, every family member, the relationship with your husband, the relationship with yourself. I am so fat. I don't recognize myself at all. I was so much more fit before I had her. I was geared the fuck in. None of my clothes fit me. My husband works a lot more than he used to. So spending time with him, it's not like it used to be. We are in bed the latest at 9 o'clock every day. The world is the most terrifying place that it's ever been in for us as a country. And the thought that I can't do whatever I have to do to survive because I have her and I need to make sure that she survives, and I'm terrified of what her future is going to look like. I can't take a shit by myself. I can't eat when I want to. I can't go out and just get a Dunkin' whenever I want to. I can't film a video whenever I want to. I can't scream whenever I want to. I can't go to dinner whenever I want to. And let me explain this, because if someone were to tell me that with how bad I wanted children, I would have just said, I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I love my future baby more than anything in the world. I want to make that sacrifice. You don't know what you don't know. You thinking that sacrifice, all of those things, isn't going to change you. And not just change you for good. Like, some of parts of me have changed for the worst, okay? I wish I got it earlier, okay? I wish I just had the click earlier that this isn't a life path that I have to take as a woman. If you are child-free, sometimes all you have to know is that you would be a good mother. Sometimes you just have to tell yourself, if I had kids, I would be the best mom. And you would have confidence in that. And then choose to not have children. I am trying to save you. Dream bigger. Dream bigger. Do not try to make the family that you've always wanted. Don't even do it. Don't do it. Go travel, bitch. Go be hot. Go create your family with friends and experiences and yourself and your spirituality and nature. Because, hot take, it's not worth it. My child is the best thing in the world and I love her so much. But I hate how much I love her. I hate the things that I know that I'm capable of doing to protect her. And especially in the state of the world right now, bitch, don't do it. I am terrified for her future every day. It is not worth it. It is not worth it. Do not have children. Do not do it to yourself. There is no return receipt. There's no... She is almost 9 months old, and I am still in the trenches. In the fucking mental trenches, okay? The rage I have inside of me. The depression and the wanting to... I have inside of me. Even with a supportive partner, even with a person that's your help, that's your village sometimes, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It still fucking sucks. Because a baby for many, 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 many years, not just a newborn, for many years, bitch, they are a parasite. And that means that they will not only suck every fucking thing of your energy, but they will also suck every ounce of your soul from your body. And I would do it for her. But I'm not ever doing it again for a non-existent child. No. I know better now. I'm smart. I will never do it again. So, listen. There's other people that are going to detest me, I'm sure, in the comments. There'll be people that agree with me. I'm just saying, my viewpoint matters here. I'm a mom of a 9-month-old. I'm 30 years old. I waited. I did everything right. And it's still the hardest thing I've ever done. And it still fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. Most of the time it sucks. I am angry and tired and annoyed and depressed and fat more times than I am happy. I'm happy when she's smiling, when she's laughing. I'm happy in those moments. And then every other moment I'm miserable. So, don't do it. Especially with the climate right now in the world. Do not do it.
Decision. Your word. I have 3 things for estranged parents and 3 things for estranged kids. So let's tackle estranged kids first. I was just reading something on a different social media platform that said she's happy to let you be estranged because she won't take responsibility. Number 1, what is taking responsibility look like to you? What would it be? What would it take for your parent? Like, in other words, if I come to you and I'm like, I apologize for not buying you the book you wanted for Christmas. Obviously, that's a stupid comparison, but it's all I have at the moment. What would it take past that for you to realize that I'm attempting to take responsibility? Number 2, for the kids, your perception of taking responsibility and the other person's perception of taking responsibility may be different. How close are you? How close are you to saying, you almost got there? And how close is the parent to almost getting there? That's a really important aspect because both sides are trying. I think that's what people need to understand. When both sides are actually trying, that's where you give that grace. That's where you decide, I'm not going to sit here and attempt to consistently one-up someone else. And number 3, on the estranged adult side, how have you fucked up in life that you hope nobody ever goes like this and puts a mirror to your face and says, you did this, and therefore you no longer have any worth in the world? Because that's how some parents feel. They feel like 1 or 2 things are this mirror and they no longer have worth to you. So some of them give up. Some of them double down. Some of them say, I'm not going to be treated like this now. So you have to decide, if you had your worst decision, your worst moment shoved back in your face, how would you react to the person doing the shoving? Would you be defensive? Would you want to put that example into context? If the answer is yes, maybe you extend that grace to your parent. All right, 3 things for parents to consider when there's some leeway or some leverage toward a relationship with your kids. First and foremost, let them vent. Whatever they have to say, let them say it. I don't care if they send you 700 texts telling you you're a piece of shit. Let them get it out. Let them say it. You read through it and you say, I don't necessarily agree with all of this, but I would like time to read through it and I would like to revisit this. I was talking to somebody who has been estranged from one of her kids for a while. And the kid reached out. Somehow they started talking again. And he started bombarding her with the things that make her suck, right? And so she took it personally. Listen, we are fucking human. We are people. So she started getting all these texts and she's like, fuck me, right? So then she took a moment, she took a breath, and she's like, I'm going to block him. And I was like, but should you? And here's the thing. I don't care if you're a parent or you're a kid. I'm going to tell you what I think is the best advice, regardless if it hurts your feelings. That's who I am. So having said that, my advice to her was to let him get it off his chest. He is exchanging energy. He is attempting to tell you his side of the story. Whether it's bullshit or not bullshit, let him speak, let him get it out, right? And then say in your text or whatever it is, we're going to revisit this at a later time, or I would like to revisit. You don't have to make it a threat. I would like to revisit this at a later time because not all of this is accurate. But for the love of God, don't shut it down. Number 2 for adults, don't let pride get in your way. Don't let pride get in your way. Have they been assholes to you? Absolutely. What were you like at the same age? I mean, I personally was not a total asshole. I was a little bit of an asshole, right? But my parents were bigger assholes. So it's all relative. What were you like at the same age that you're judging? What were you like with the relationship with your parents? So if you always had to be the bigger parent with your parents, you may understand where some of these estranged people are coming from, because you're like, I've been there. I sent a present to a second niece, a second cousin. I'm not sure familiar how that goes. And the person that takes care of this child is also a relative, but it isn't her child. It's a different relative's child.
Narcissistic mothers and mother-in-laws destroy their children's marriages. This is because they want to control everything, which means that they will control their households and go further to try and control their children's household. They will control how you also raise their grandkids. This is because narcissistic people infantilize their children. They do not allow them to be autonomous human beings. When a narcissistic person cannot control you, they are going to criticize you, which means that if, for instance, you are the daughter-in-law and you are evading their control by setting boundaries, then you are going to be the subject of their criticism. Narcissistic people are also very competitive. They will compete with their daughters-in-law because they want their son's attention back to them. This then causes a lot of strife because the son is used to the dysfunctional family system, and as a result they do not see anything wrong with their mother's behavior, or they keep on minimizing the extent to which their mother is meddling in the relationship. This then causes you and your husband to be at loggerheads because you keep on setting boundaries against his family, and he keeps on pushing against your boundaries and starts seeing you as the bad person without realizing that the dysfunctional family system that they grew up in made them unaware of how far those narcissistic family systems push against boundaries.
We are fed and ready for a nap with Grandma. Oh, honey, you have no idea. I look at her and I want to cry. I know. And now I know what you always say about a mother's love. No, sweetheart, this is deeper. I'm her grandmother. This is a soul tie. Oh, it's like I'm getting a second chance. This is a different type of a bond. It's a multi-generational love. It's deeper than anything else. I'm sorry if that's hard to hear. I know you love her. She's my child. But she's my baby. Sorry, are you saying... I know it's unfathomable to you because of the stage you're in. Because I birthed her not too long ago. But I promise you, a grandmother's love is deeper. What happened to the strongest force on earth is a mother's love? Sweetheart. I mean, that's what you always used to say. I don't understand. I would never understand until I became a mother. And that was true. Okay. But now I'm a grandmother. Now I know different. So you're saying no matter what I feel, you will always feel so much more? I'm so glad you're able to comprehend the fact. Yeah, I love her so much more than you ever could. Give me my baby.
The first thing to recognize with an adult child who's a narcissist is boundaries don't work. By definition, narcissists are abusive, okay? And all abusers, by definition, don't respect boundaries. So you can go, I mean, I encourage everyone to learn about codependence and setting boundaries and all of that. But the key to remember is you're dealing with an abusive person. Boundaries won't work with them. They will trample them because they don't see them, they don't honor them, they don't respect them, they don't think they matter, because especially in the case of a narcissist, everything's about them. So who cares about your boundaries? Unless they're an advantage to me, I don't even notice them.
How many of you really good parents woke up one morning suddenly to realize that the majority of the problems you faced in coping with your ungrateful adult kids is that you actually had raised a narcissist and you never even realized it? It never even occurred to you because you had no idea what that meant at the time. And now you do. You're not alone. It's stunning.
No, absolutely this whole, like, you're destroying your body when you get pregnant, it's insane, and it's absolutely, like, rooted in misogyny, as is the whole, like, bounce back culture. Like, the amount of times I've heard since I had my girl that I bounce back or that I snap back is just, I can't even count them. Like, and even at first, like, I played into it, like, I didn't really think about it. I was like, yeah, I know, like, isn't that wild? And now I'm like, wait a minute, but is it bad if I didn't just bounce back? Like, what's wrong with looking like I had a baby? I had a baby. Like, there is such a pressure on women to preserve the way their body looks, almost as if they're trying to preserve some type of, like, virginal youthfulness that's just icky. Like, I am a grown woman. It is okay if I look like I gained 30, 40, 50 pounds over the course of my pregnancy. It would be okay if my whole body was covered in stretch marks. It's okay if my body swole up and just never swole back down. Okay, maybe not that last part, because, like, being swollen all the time is a sign of, like, high blood pressure, and that's really bad, but, like, that's not the point, you know what I mean? And, like, now I find myself, in some ways, like, missing the pregnant version of me. Like, I wish there were more signs that I had a baby, because, like, we were attached, and now we're not, and a part of me, like, feels like I can't mourn that in a way that won't come across as weird because of this whole, like, bounce back, snap back culture. Like, at the end of the day, our bodies should look like the things that they've done. If we climb mountains for a living, then we should look like we climb mountains for a living. And if we had a baby, our body should look like we had a baby. And there should be no pressure to do anything otherwise. Like, I don't need to look the way that I looked at 16 or 22 forever. Like, I don't know.
Right now with this freeze, vulnerable populations could be directly impacted. And so my question to you, just to follow up with you, would you support getting rid of, you know, school lunch for vulnerable kids and breakfast and Head Start, for example, and getting rid of childhood cancer research? Do you support that? And what do you say to your constituents? I want to follow up on that question too, because I didn't hear an answer from you.
When you talk about school lunches, hey, I worked my way through high school. I don't know about you, but I worked since I was, before I was even 13 years old. I was picking berries in the field before we had child labor laws that precluded that. I was a paper boy. And when I was in high school, I worked my entire way through. You're telling me that kids who stay at home, instead of going to work at Burger King, McDonald's during the summer, should stay at home and get their free lunch instead of going to work? I think we need to have a top-down review.
I think you're painting a lot of these kids with a broad brush. I would say that's not necessarily a fair assessment of all of the kids. So you would say all the kids in your district who use the free lunch, for example, or breakfast, they're all just sitting at home and not working. Okay, I just want to clarify, because that seems like what you were trying to insinuate.
This gives us a chance. This gives us a chance, though, to see where is the money really being spent. who can actually go and actually produce their own income? Who can actually go out there and do something that makes them have value and work skills for the future? I mean, how many people got their start in fast food restaurants when they were kids versus just giving a blanket rule that gives all kids lunches in high school who are capable of going out and actually getting a job and doing something that makes them have value, thinking about their future instead of thinking about how they're going to sponge off the government when they don't need to.
But a lot of these kids aren't even of like working age. They're young kids, and as you well know, and also some of the kids at Head Start, they're like 5 and under.
Mummy's here. Everything's gonna be okay. Take that. Where's my boy? Oh, look at that. Princess is on her iPad again, is she? I'm just on a work call, actually. Yes, hello everyone. Evening. Someone's gonna clean. I know what you mean. Mwah. Oh, I can't believe we're having a baby.
I know.
I've been thinking, and I want to be in the room when it happens.
Oh, no, I don't think you'll need to. Of course, Mummy.
He needs support too.
Mwah.
Carrying a lot of extra weight. Are you concerned? No, it's just the baby. No, I was much tired.
I'm having a shower.
Oh, hello, mister. Are you going to bathe this one? No, I'm not going to bathe him. Oh. Okay then, well, put your feet up, princess. Mummy's coming, sweetie. I'll get the flannel. Sorry, you okay? Turn around. Come on. I think my water's just broken. Oh, well, there goes my appetite. All right, drama queen, let's go.